Matt in Jers. We're back. As we were waiting for the lead-in to play out, I was noticing I've got my Seattle Mariners hat over what I guess when you're looking at me, that'd be my left shoulder, my right shoulder. I should be wearing the Mariners hat, Jers, because what a moment. We're recording this as soon after the golf, I think, as we ever have before. I don't even know if they're done yet. I think Knapp and
no, they're still in the fairway. Yeah.
Okay, they're still out there. But Joey Buckets, Pacific Northwest legend, left-handed legend, state of Washington legend. What a moment. What a moment for Joey Buckets.
Yeah, definitely what a moment for Joey Buckets. And I was all the way in with you. Once we realized that we weren't going to hit the winner this week, all the way in on Joey Buckets, closing it out. And he closed it out in some electric fashion, some incredible putting prowess from Joey Buckets down the stretch. And he just looked dialed from tee to green, what you got to be at PGA National. So good for Joey Bucks. Not a friend of the program, but a guy that we've been high on for so long and just always give him out and just talk about Joey Bucks. So happy to see him break through.
Yeah, great for Joey Buckets. As I tweeted out from the Vince account, they don't give out Sahali Players Championships. You earn any victory. No. I don't care if you're playing a money match with your friends or playing in the Sahali Players Championship, playing in the LPGA Champion. Like, if you win at Sahali, you're generational stripes. Joey Buckets won there in 2019 as an amateur. He won the Washington. I was looking all this stuff up because I grew up playing golf in the Pacific Northwest in the kind of, junior circuit up there. The Highsmith family was always known because they're great golfers. I believe Joey Buckets is the youngest of the Highsmiths, but they've been good forever. He's been the Pacific Northwest big hope for a PGA Tour winner for some time now. Chose to go down to Pepperdine because he knew, unlike Cam Davis, unlike CD, who voluntarily moved to Seattle, Joey Bucks looked at the conditions up there and said, let me get down to Pepperdine. Let me get some sun. But a surprise. We talked about the Bermuda guys, and there was plenty of Bermuda guys, obviously, in the mix there. I would never have expected Joey Buckets' first win to come in Florida. We usually talk about him. We say anytime you come out west, get Joey Buckets on the card. That's probably the most surprising thing for me. We knew he could generationally stripe, but to win on the Bermuda with everything we're saying about being a PNW guy.
Yeah, and there was a ton of Bermuda guys around the lead all weekend and up there right now. But Joey Buck's not really the guy who would strike you as the Bermuda guy. So hand up, we definitely missed him. Didn't really talk about him going into the week at all because we just – I mean, there was very, very few people probably on Joey Bucks this week, but we were really close with our other picks. I'm not really mad. Like usually I'm upset if I don't have the winner or like some bad beat, something like that. I'm not mad like that Benny G couldn't close it out because Joey Bucks did it in some awesome fashion. I would have been a little bit mad if he did it by 1 and Ben Griffin made that kind of ugly par on 18 because he didn't even hit the fairway. So, yeah, no real feelings outside of shout out Joey Bucks. Great win.
Yeah, I will also say as a lefty, I tweeted out a few weeks ago, you were with me down there in SF when we couldn't get a left-handed rental set. Another lefty winner. It's a generational era of lefties. I genuinely believe this as somebody who grew up playing golf left-handed, roughly in the same ballpark of the age, a little bit older than some of these young gun lefties who are coming up. There's going to be more lefties because when I grew up getting left-handed clubs, you legitimately would go to the golf store and they'd have 97 different sets and they would have one left-handed set. If it didn't fit you perfectly, you were screwed. So it's nice to see lefties win. I genuinely think this is we're on the upswing of lefties. We're just going to see more and more lefties be good at golf. And this is another take I have as a lefty. We talk about my swing sometimes. I'm right-handed, but play lefty. You can get so much torque and power when you're right-handed playing lefty. So the future is bright for left-handers, Jers.
I mean, this is a banner week for you. Joey Buckets win Pacific Northwest, and your player comp, Jacob Bridgman, finishes right behind him. How are you feeling right now? Because this is do we hang the banners? I'm not sure. Do we victory lap this? I don't know what to do right now.
That's a fair question because I texted you earlier in the week when Bridges was playing good. I said I would not have expected that I would play well at PGA National. My game. And for people who weren't listening to the famous or maybe infamous pod after Tommy Dietz won, we talked about our comps. And my comp has always been Bridgman because I can't drive, but you get me in the fairway on the rare currents. I can hit my irons all right. And I'm a generational short game player. Good putter. That's what Bridges has been. So for him to mix at a PGA National of all places. I texted you earlier in the week saying that was surprising. So that was, do I come down now and do we play some Florida golf? Because maybe secretly that could be my game.
Hey, I mean, we can get on PGA National any day you want. So whenever you're down here, we could definitely test out the theories to see if you can stripe around PGA Nash.
What's this is what I was thinking about with Joey Buckets. Only 24 years old. I like I said, I've known of Joe Highsmith for a long time. I would not have guessed he was 24. I thought he was a little bit older than that. You don't see a lot of guys that young, obviously winning on the PGA Tour. He definitely qualifies in the young gun category, a spot that we always want to have our eyes on. But I'll admit, we talk about the young guns all the time. We talk about the young studs in the game. Never have given Joey Buckets, like, we've not really categorized him in the young stud department. This is an impressive win. This is a course where we've seen good players, young players get early wins in their career. Obviously, Austin Eckroat last year, somewhat similar to that. But what's next for Joey Buckets? How do you feel about him? Just change your thoughts about him? Do we need to be talking about him more with the young studs? Where do we go from here?
I mean, he made 3 hole-in-ones last year. 3. That's just not something a generational flusher doesn't do. That's crazy that he did that. So he's always been a great player. He was a stud at Pepperdine. And I don't think we have a floodgate situation, but his poise with the lead through the bear trap was pretty impressive because it was playing difficult today. And he just striped and striped and striped, hit his spot, hit the right numbers. Shout out Joe LaCava on the bag. But, like, did his thing. And it was very impressive to watch. I honestly did not think once he got that lead around 12, 13 that he was going to hang on. But he had one falter in the fairway on 14 when he was in the left rough on 14, went over the green, got it up and down with ease. And then from there, green, just looked very calm and collected.
Yeah, I texted you, I think, around the 10th hole saying Joey Buckets is generationally striping because it was coming out of the center every single time.
Mm-hmm.
He flushes the ball. He reminds me a lot of Eckroat, honestly. Like, when I was looking at it, I didn't consider betting Joe Highsmith before the tournament at all. I probably looked at his profile for 5 seconds, said not jumping out to me, but very similar style of players. Drives it straight, has a little bit of distance, not a bomber, but maybe positional bomber potential. I would describe Joey Buckets as a potential.
We did see him at Sawgrass.
Yep. Terrible around the greens. That's usually what cost him. But we've talked about at PGA National specifically, and with the overseed, that this was going to be a week where around the greens play was not going to be as important as it is on the normal basis. Never putts that well, but from time to time can heat up with the flat stick. And I think we're looking, as you were talking, I was looking at something, and he might be going into the dog rankings. Jers, we don't always take a first-time winner like Soups last week. He's not going into the dog rankings, even though he showed impressive dog. I'm just looking at the profile historically of Joey Buckets, and I'm seeing some dog things. First of all, he was sick. I think he was the youngest winner of the Washington State Amateur ever. Won it as a young gun. Won a lot in college. Goes out to the Corn Ferry. Doesn't play great on the Corn Ferry, but then goes T2, T3 in the final 2 events of the year on the Corn Ferry
when he needs it.
So he did it at the Children's Hospital, and he did it at the Corn Ferry Tour Championship. Last year on tour, he did absolutely nothing. He played good in Puerto Rico. He missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of 10 cuts in the heart of the season, like when the KFT guys need to get their points in events like Rocket Mortgage or JDC. Missed all those cuts. End of the year, fall swing, T6 at the Black Desert, T16 at Shriners, 5th at the WWT, T11 at the RSM, and then he comes out here, makes the cut on the number, gets white hot.
Shit. Maybe he is a Bermuda guy.
Shit. I think we've got to get him at least into the cusp of the dog rankings. Dog to talent ratio here seems top.
Yeah, I mean that Puerto Rico was that when he played. He was leading after 54, I think, and blew it hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that was what he was 22, 23 then. I think he's definitely at least in the consideration for the top 50. We'll definitely look at the numbers after the pod.
Yeah, and just again, shout out Data Golf here, looking at Joey Buckets. He just moved into positive L50 strokes gained total. So, like, he's been on a upswing, and now he's just passed into the over the 0 mark, which shows that you're a player capable of holding your own on the PGA Tour. We're only 24 years old, and now a winner who this is kind of a spur of the moment question, but whose career money list, if you were going to get paid the money that this person won, do you want between him and Eckroat, 2 young gun winners of this event back-to-back years?
Shit, that's a great question. That is a really good question. Like we've been monitoring in the Discord in the Boots reports, Eckroat has not hit a fairway in 2025. But I don't want to say career over, but like you gotta hit fairways and for his style of play. How old is Eckroat? I don't know. I'm gonna still go with Eckroat because
X only
he was
26. He's 26.
I think the ball striking ceiling is higher with Eckroat. But it's definitely a question, definitely a debate.
So purely on numbers, just looking at their profiles, I would agree with you. But like I said, I sense some dog here from Joey Buckets. He's got some weaknesses in his game right now, but let's figure out the around the green. Maybe this gives him some confidence with the putter. I think he has obviously never putted like that. That was a generational performance from him with the putter. He was putting so aggressively, and they were just finding the center. Like he just said, fuck it, I'm going at the pin. I'm going to make putts. So shout out Joey Buckets. Before he won, going into the final round, as I was sitting there thinking about what we would talk about on the pod, I was actually not even going to start with the PGA Tour because for a while there, it looked like maybe Knapp's going to go wire to wire. We can talk about that. Henley might win. It was going to be not that interesting, I would say, for a second there, of like the guy to talk about. Now, Buckets changed that. But where I wanted to start was with Lydia Ko. Just because I've not watched a lot of LPGA in my life. I'm not going to stand up here and claim to be in any way an LPGA expert. But Risk got us into the mix on a few different players. It's a big event over on the LPGA this week. And last night, I had nothing better to do. So I flip on the TV. I'm watching this final round. Unbelievable golf. Unbelievable dog. We might have to put her in the top 10 of the... Like, I didn't realize... I knew she was a great player. I didn't realize how many wins she has on the LPGA Tour. Like, watching her play, I was like, this is as perfect of a final round of golf to win a tournament as I think you could possibly play. She looked so calm, so chill. I know you were watching for a little bit, but that's actually where I was almost going to start the pod before Joey Buckets did this, was Lydia Ko.
I mean, like all the girls that are in the lead, they just like, well, any professional female golfer, their swings are just so amazing and they just don't miss their spots. But Lydia, under the pressure, was just swinging so relaxed, hitting her spots, hitting her irons 20 feet right, like just doing exactly what she should have done with the 3-stroke lead. And yeah, like she's a generational winner. It was really impressive. Obviously, we had Agent A.K. Lim.
AL.
What's her name?
A.L.
Lim. A.L. Kim.
Lim, not Kim. We had A.L. Lim and Hannah Green got up there on Saturday. I was following along on my phone. But
shout out Riz, because he's the reason that we're on these girls. He's in it. So get in the Discord. That's why we don't know their names.
Shout out Riz for that. But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, it got me. We've talked on the pod so far this year that we're getting more into the LPGA.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is obvious in retrospect. I just haven't watched that much. But like watching the final round, seeing how people show the dog and things like that, I don't really care what tour I'm watching. Ultimately, that's what I enjoy watching about golf. And it was great to see Lydia just like playing perfection final round golf. I don't name a tour, doesn't matter. If I was on somebody and I wanted them to play the final round, exactly how Lydia did. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was easy stuff from her. Super.
So yeah, lots of stuff. Long story short, to say there's a lot of stuff going on per usual up on this site, the LPGA, the Boots report. Overall, I think a quality week of Boots. No winner, like you said. BG there. He, to me, I love him. I truly enjoy watching him play. His attitude, his vibe.
Bermuda.
So, like, people were screaming from the rooftops when you were at the course, like, don't forget to tell people about Ben Griffin, the Bermuda guy. Like, everybody down there just knows this is a Bermuda guy. Deeply unserious golfer. Deeply unserious. Did you think he was going to win? What was your feeling as he got into the mix? Because he basically, in my opinion, was live fave on when he went to the tee on 13, and then he immediately played the easiest hole on the course. Like the guys were making birdie on all day. And so what happened?
I thought on 12 green, he had a 30-footer for birdie. Didn't think he was going to make it, which he didn't. And Knapp was ejecting on 11. I thought, okay, let's buckle up. We're going to cash it out right here.
Sweat time. Mixing. Hard
mix. And we're mixing. Hard mix. Joey Buckets had just made bird on 13, but he was one ahead. I was like, okay, we're fine. And then they didn't show the drive for a while, and I checked the app, and I was used to checking the app and seeing Ben Griffin in the middle of every single fairway. He finished second in the field in driving accuracy, was just striping all week, and he was off the planet right. I thought he had a gap to Yeah, unknown. People were saying it was unknown. I thought he had a gap low to go because there was a back pin. I thought he had a gap low and just run it up there. Ended up going over, was like 45 yards short of the pin, but just short of the green. Could have easily got it up and down. Left it 20 feet short. Made bogey. But BG, I wouldn't put him in deeply unserious, but when he's gotten there, he hasn't closed the deal. He has not.
Let's just go over some of the times.
Yeah. Okay.
This week it wasn't like a dramatic blowing of the situation, but he based on how he was playing, he was striping. Right. He's great putting on Bermuda. He was having like Joey Buckets has never won. Like Joey Buckets is fresh on the scene. He's never been in that situation. After Knapp ejected, and BG, like you said, made that easy par on 12 because 12 was playing pretty tough with that pin over on the right side.
Right.
13 was a chip drive, and then you just hit a pitch, and every guy had 15 feet for birdie. And it was a question if you could make a 15-footer, and BG can do that. So ugly scene from BG there, but not dramatic. He was up there last week, didn't really do anything once he got like right there on the edge of the mix. There was the John Deere when he didn't choke John Deere, but when Davey T won John Deere, he was up there. I remember him being in the mix, didn't really do anything. RBC when he lost to Bob Mack. I don't remember what happened there. He was just kind of always there. Did he blow anything at the
Canadian Open? I don't remember him being there.
I don't think so.
I don't remember that.
But the two ones that going back in the day were Sanderson. He had it at Sanderson.
Yeah.
And he
didn't birdie 18, and then Bermuda was
no. I think he just needed a par 18, and he nuked it over the green and didn't get it up and down for par.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Bermuda, the ugliest loss maybe in the history of final rounds.
Yeah.
The good thing about a guy like BG is I just listed off like 7 or 8 times where he easily could have won, like not done something amazing to win, just literally steady his way to the finish line. I texted you that he's as low dog as a player as I could possibly think of. You started to defend him. Do you think he wins this season?
I don't think he's well, this season he's playing some good golf, and I don't think he's like the lowest of low dogs. Like the dude was like 55 to 1, 60 to 1. I'm not saying 25 to 1 you have to bet BG on Bermuda. That's where he should be. He should be like plus 1,000 on Bermuda every time. But like 55 to 1, like I'll bet that. He's alive at the Players. Like he is. He'll mix at the Players. But I don't know. I'm not defending him fully. Low dog when the number's right, I'll be in on Bermuda.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see where it goes with BG. But I brought up BG to mention the boots report. Like I said, solid boots report. That's the guy you had closest in the mix. I had Max McGreevy. Never truly mixing. He also shot 64 yesterday with Joey Buckets. And Joey Buckets went low. He played solidly. I've got no beef with anything that anytime the guy who's like almost the last guy on your card at 150 to 1 ends up being your closest guy to win, you can't hold anything against him. What you should be doing is holding things against some of the other guys you bet, which we'll get to in a second. But you're off to Bay Hill this week for a signature event, which is going to be tremendous. Another week of boots. Other guys like Ricky was a good call on the boots report. Knapp, obviously you were high on. Pabs fell off over the weekend, but I was, as somebody, again, like I always say, a consumer of the boots report, using it to try to educate my selections for the week. I think you gave me all the information that I needed to make a good choice, and at least for me, none of my choices came home, but at the end of the day, that's all I'm looking for from the boots report. So excited to hear what you have to say from Bay Hill, and then we're locked in. We've been saying, when is the first duo boots going to occur? When are we going to get to the course together? We've also been saying Sawgrass is one of our favorite places to go in the entire world. Jers, I've been wanting to get down there. I'm coming down for Players.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you because without you, there was no boots. People can try to do boots, but no one knows how to do boots. And without Adam's guide, I would have never been able to do it. So shout out Adam, my teacher in boots, going to get back on the scene together. I don't want to guarantee anything, but the eyes are going to be dialed at our favorite place. So yeah, excited for that. Excited for API this week. Definitely check out the boots report because we, like you said, another great boots report. Had Russ as the number 1 player in the field, which is rare that we get. Like I pick like a guy who is at the top of the leaderboard as the number 1 guy, unless your name is Scottie Scheffler.
You mean top of the odds board?
Yeah, top of the odds board. So yeah, Russ played good. There was a ton of other guys that we had eyes on, that gave good reports to, that played well. So I'm excited for API, but more excited for the players with Adam back to boot it up together.
Yeah, and that's all over up on the site. $9.99 for the weekly, $34.99 for the monthly. And we say it a million times, but a million times is never enough. Thank you to everybody who listens to the pod. Thank you extra for everybody who subscribes to the site and allows us to keep growing this type of content. February was far and away exceeded my expectations by a shit ton. And that's thanks to the hard work of Jers, but it's extra thanks to all the people who get in the Discord, leave us comments, send us messages, and subscribe to the site. We do everything in our power to do the best content that we possibly can on a weekly basis. And we're just going to keep trying to do that and hope things turn out well. And when you mention the players and getting down, they're not promising anything. I'm excited to get down there, Jers, because I need a winner. I've been solid with my picks this year. I don't know what I got to do to get them over the edge. And the reason I bring this up specifically is A, I need to get the boots so I can judge with my own eyes. But B, but actually usually what happens with boots is you get the winner when we go. Like I nail in the course like play so much, and then you piggyback off of that with the pick.
Our hit rate together is really high.
Yeah. When I woke up this morning to see that the DP World Tour had canceled the final round, when I had a guy directly in the mix, he was second on the odds board. He was like plus 400 going into the final round. Yep. Like Marco P was right there to mix. And they canceled the tournament after last week. John Perry blew it as like he was minus 150 going into the weekend. I'm starting to wonder what I have to do. Did I upset the golf gods? What's going on here, Jers? That was ridiculous what the DP pulled off today.
They're probably like, get this dude to boots because this is where he belongs, and then everything will come to fruition. But yeah, that was ridiculous. You had Marco P. I think Vincent had a guy in the mix too,
Brandon
right
Grace,
below Marco. Brandon Grace, who was dialed to win in South Africa to get the OWGR points. But what a Vic for the South African betting card. Anytime the event, the flow chart. You said South African event flow chart is the event in South Africa. Yes, make your card all South Africans, and I believe it was obviously a South African that won. That's 7 straight years the South Africans won the South African Open. So
I have serious problems with the DP Jers though, and South Africa in general that I need to talk about, because we talk about the DP a lot. We shit on the DP for some bad decision making, some things that make no sense. How many times? It's got to be at least now multiple times where when they go to South Africa this time of year, it deluges rain and they have to cancel something or something bad happens. Too many times on the DP, things like this happen. Why do so many tournaments get canceled with like, or play 54 holes? What are we doing? We can't have a tournament where you tell people on minutes before the final round's already started, that you're canceling the final round. Like,
no, it's unserious.
That's unserious because you and then you decide we're going to do a playoff between the guys who are tied for at least like let 5 or 6 guys go out there and play a few holes. Like come up with something to at least make this a legitimate victory. Like I'm so frustrated. Like I said, because I had a guy in the mix, but we can't have this.
It was just one hole, right?
Yeah, they canceled the tournament because it flooded, and then they just played 18. Just the Cantor and Nadu, who are tied for the lead. But like they knew it was going to rain. They can see the forecast. Why? Yeah. But the problem is too, it must just absolutely dump rain in South Africa this time of year, because I swear every time they go down there, it's colossal floods.
Yeah, no, it was flooded before, and I saw someone post on Twitter that they were surprised that like they got the course ready in time. So it's like when we go to Pebble in February, early February, it's just always horrible weather. But this year we got lucky, obviously. Yeah, so we're back in South Africa next week for the DP World Tour. So we're back at the Joburg Open. I guess if we want to run through that real quick, Bomber Central, just bet Bombers there, and hopefully one will come through.
And just bet South Africans. They're still playing in
South African Bombers. They exist. Trust me.
They're still playing in South Africa. But I just need to get that off my chest.
Aldi Potts would win this week by 28.
When EVR was heating up, I was like, are the South Africans just unconscious right now? I thought EVR was going to fly home in the final round there and just continue the trend. But I just had to get that off my chest. It just too many tournaments on the DP have dumb, weird stuff like this happen. We gotta get rid of it. am a voice of support for the DP World Tour, but anything more like this happens, it's going to be the last drop for me because I was frustrated when I woke up and saw that I woke up and I because I wasn't planning on waking up. I was like, I'll wake up with like the back nine and see if my guy's playing well and go from there. I woke up, I like pull my phone out around like 6:30. I can't really see what it says. I'm like, why is it say 18's finished? Like, why is my guy still in third? Did they just, what's going on? And then there was the alert at the top, and as I'm reading it, I'm like, guys, you've got to be kidding me. It's a terrible
It doesn't
thing.
take us a lot to be off the DP, but it doesn't take us a lot to be back in either. So like it's a super up and down with us on the DP World Tour. And right now we got to do something next week. We might have one more week to get back on track.
But yeah, so lots of stuff going on up on the side. We got Live this week as well. I think what is it? We'll have 5 tournaments on the site this week.
Live HK, Puerto Rico, API, LPGA, and DP.
That's probably the only time all year we'll have 5 tournaments up. I can't think of it. Maybe no, it's got to be the only time of the year where there's going to be 5 different tournaments. It's going to be insane. But let's finish up a few things about the Palm Beaches because there's other things that took place outside of Joey Bucket's victory and the Bermuda Guys BG and Max McGreevy playing well. Russ Henley, Jersey, he was a guy who you spoke up highly about. You ranked him number 1 based on what you were seeing out there at Boots. The models, the numbers would support you as well. It was a perfect storm, I would say. Like you said, you don't usually say the guy near the top of the board is the one who looks like the best player, but Russ was that, and the stats back it up. But Jers, this was vintage Russell Henley. This is why we can't bet Russell Henley around 20-1. He's an unserious golfer. What was he doing? He takes the lead. He's generationally striping. He hits it on 7, makes a birdie from like nobody was birdieing 7. 7 was an impossible hole. He makes it look like chump change. And then he goes to 8 and makes one of the grossest bogeys you're ever going to see on a hole with the way he was striping should be a great birdie chance for him. Unserious stuff. He's your guy. But were you glad that you didn't end up going to him? Because that would have been frustrating to be on, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I was betting Russ. I was going to the car and betting Russ. I saw the chart alert, had to stick to my guns. So I wouldn't have been mad because like that's just my process. Like I'm not betting Russ. He's on the chart. But he played well, was just not sharp when he needed to be sharp, especially around the green, the few chips that just let run away and didn't make the comebackers, but he putt really, really well, striped pretty hard. Russ knows his game. And Russ will play well on these courses time and time again. So no real feelings outside of I expected good play from Russ, and we got good play from Russ. Didn't quite get across the finish line.
I think I have him. There's a people battle for this spot because there's a ton of contenders for biggest lowest dog to talent ratio. Russ probably based just purely on like the strokes gained total. It's a battle between him and Tommy for sure.
Sung is might be one because strokes gained total, like he's right there with Tommy. Like he'll because Sung will finish T3 a ton.
Who of those guys would you? They're in the strokes gained total, like they're basically the same. Statistically, they're like very close. Tommy, Russ, Sungjae, who has the biggest dog or the largest ratio of dog to talent? So the worst, basically.
Yeah, I would say 1 Sung, 2 Tommy, 3 Russ. Like Russ has won before. Yeah, Russ was like, and I'm not that Tommy isn't nails in Ryder Cup, but Russ was really fucking good in the President's Cup in his only appearance. So yeah, and like Sung even in the President's Cups, like is not like he's not crazy. He's just Sung when he's there. So yeah, it's definitely Sung, Tommy, Russ.
Speaking of Sung, speaking of the Cognizant Classic, we also bring up the good and the bad. You surprised me when I got the final when I got your card in. Obviously we don't talk to each other really about who we're betting until we kind of submit it. We both go through our processes the same. You ended up on Sung at the top of the board. You said I'm going to go to Sung because he had drifted to 30-1. I had already written up that I was fading Sung as my fade in the 10-9K range. When I saw you sent that, I was like, fuck. I even wrote up, you should probably listen to Jers, not me, on Sung. How do you feel about going to Sung? Why did you go to Sung? Just, I'm sure people would like a statement for understanding how you felt about it. What's your statement on the Sungjae selection at Cox?
Yeah, I mean, I saw great things from Sungjae, and my eyes have been blessed to me since we've been doing Boots. So I'm going to trust them. I'm going to see what I saw, and Sung looked really, really good out there. ended up not playing really good. He shot 4 under, I believe, missing the cut, but he hit the ball all right. But it was just some unserious golf from Sungjae. Am I mad that I bet him at 30-1? No. That's the number that we allow ourselves to bet Sungjae in. I will say I should have known in easy, soft conditions, Sung is not the best. He prefers firmer surfaces, and that's when he plays well. When he won the Honda, it was at 6 or 5 under, I believe. And he always plays well in difficult events where he backdoors something around like -7, -8. Not that he can't do it in these soft conditions, but from being in the Sungjae camp over the last year and a half, I know what he likes, and I know that this is not it. So probably clearly a bad play, but I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, I think that all makes sense. My problem with Sung right now is the iron play is just
not good. It was barely good this week, but still not good.
Not good. And coming to a place like PJ Nash, I was just like, I'm worried about the iron play. Would we you need to get eyes on him this week. Obviously, Bay Hill is one of his specialties. He always plays great at Bay Hill. Your boys with Willie, he did strike. The ball striking was better. The short game and putting was bad. I saw Willie posted a video today of Sungjae practicing out of the bunk.
That's rare. That means they were Sungjae hates missing cuts. Like it's his least. Like he freaks out when he misses a cut. So they're grinding. I mean, I did see good things, and he hit the ball well. This in his just chipped and putt poorly, heading to Bay Hill. I mean, he's not going to win Bay Hill, but potential 30-1 without Scottie market. We'll talk when we get there.
If you think he hates missing cuts, how much do you think he hates missing back-to-back cuts? Missed the cut at Torrey, another place he's played well before too, and here.
I'm surprised Willie is not fired.
Remember when he missed the cut at the Amex as favorite, and he lost 6 strokes on approach? Problems in the Sungjae camp. Now the good news is, if Willie can keep his job, and if Sung can bounce back, we're going to start getting good numbers on Sung. And what do we say? Yeah. We want Sung above 30, which is another reason that you were in on him last week. I'm fine if Sung wants to play bad for a while, because then we might start getting into the 50s, the 60s, 70s. And then if he can get it cleaned up by Augusta, maybe like an 80 on Sung at Augusta.
He cannot win the Masters, but he can finish T3 at Quail Hollow. And you can, if we get a 60 without Rory at Quail Hollow, now we're talking.
I just love he'll never win the Masters, but probably never win the Masters. But
I bet later though. Before
I bet him at Augusta all the time, and it usually works out. He usually stripes at Augusta. It's a perfect course for him. But just need to get your thoughts there. And as we said, we try to be as fair as possible when we make good picks, bad picks, and in between. Knapp. How could we forget the Napster?
Yeah, we'd have to talk about Knapp for sure.
You wrote up something that I think was totally a fair write-up about him. You said he looks good out here. He looks confident. The course history is good. He was 4th here last year, but it doesn't make sense on paper. He's not a guy who can hit the ball straight. He's not reliable off the tee. A lot of the things that you would be looking for in a player at PGA National, not really his game. He won in Mexico, where you hit it off the planet. We talked last week about how Mexico is the perfect spot for unserious golfers to win tournaments. Soups, by the way, kind of serious. Where'd Soups finish, by the way, this week?
Played with Jordan today.
He felt +4 today. He was
Jordan.
He went in the final round at -11, finished at -7. That's tough for camps, or for Soups, but he won't care about that. But now,
I don't care.
59 in the first round. People are upset. People are angry. They're saying, this isn't my PGA National. This is unright. I tweeted this isn't my PGA National before the week because the GIR percentage here has just been going up over time. You were there. You were telling us that it was an unserious setup this week. He comes out and shoots 59. Did you think he was going to take it all the way? I'll be honest, I never thought he was going to win. You can't go gate to wire after 59. It's impossible. No matter who you are, I don't think you can do it.
No, I did not think Jake Knapp was ever a threat to win the golf tournament. Truthfully, it turned out to play more like PGA National as the weekend went on, and that played into my write-up. Like on paper, doesn't really make sense. So Jake Knapp, the truth came out with Jake Knapp, and he got a few lucky breaks on 9 and 10 today. Like he basically skipped one across the pond on 9, and then on 10 he shot one way over the green, got a great drop from the grandstand. But the dude, under pressure, we've talked about it before. There's a reason why everyone on tour doesn't swing like Jake Knapp. When you're swinging that slow, shit goes bad under the gun. So Jake Knapp, I'm down for you. Like, you're a cool guy. You're a cool guy, but there's very few times where I'd like bet you. It has to be Mexico or like Detroit or Capello or something like that.
I tweeted about this. I've said this before, so this is not. We've talked about. I don't remember what podcast we talked about it on, but we've talked about this about Knapp before. I don't like his swing at all. I don't like his swing at all, specifically because how are you going to keep that swing up under pressure? I think when I came up with this take, and this tournament reminds me of it actually, was the Byron last year. He also had the first round lead there. He also was generationally
You
playing
had him,
through
right?
yeah. He played great through going into the weekend, played fine over the weekend, but just kind of fell off towards the end. The slow mo, like change up swing with the driver and the long clubs where he tries to like finesse it in. And when it works,
Yeah.
yes, it's beautiful. It's wonderful
sweet.
to watch. It's so
It's
sweet. But
sweet.
no one's how can you time that up under the gun? You can't. And that's
Right.
what we saw today.
And he's never once done it under the gun because at Mexico he did not do it. He did not do it at Mexico.
No,
He just
didn't.
happened to be on the only golf course in the world where you could hit it anywhere you want. So, Knapp, you're gonna have to if you really want to be a serious golfer. But like nonetheless, like he played great golf. Going 59 to being in the mix, like hard mix, is rare. It really is. Like we don't see that often. So like props to you. But if you want to be a serious golfer to win big events because you have the talent to do it, figure something out.
And I felt vindicated even before he played well this week. Maybe it was last week in Mexico. I think Faxon said it. They said Knapp hates his own swing. So if Jake
Really?
Knapp doesn't like his own swing, I can at least feel vindicated in giving that take. But it's great when he's hitting fairways and he can just attack with the iron play. That's where that swing and he gets in a groove. That's why he's the type of guy who would shoot a 59 because when he gets heated up and he has nothing to worry about and he's just gaming it, well then yeah, that swing is beautiful. It's just not designed for winning golf tournaments under the gun, in my opinion. But it did look like he was going to for a while there. What was your decision on, or your thought on the decision on 11 that ultimately obviously cost him the tournament? He fans the approach into the water. Ball is fully submerged under the water. Everybody's like, please don't do this. You'll never hit it out. He ends up making 7. If he goes back and drops in the fairway, he maybe makes 5, probably makes 6. So it cost him a shot and a half, I would say. I got a text from my father and it said strokes gained caddy. This is a terrible decision. When your dad calls something out, you know it's not a wise move. So what was your thought on the decision on 11?
I actually have a take on Jake Knapp's caddy. I've never heard him say a word. He looks like his brother. He's like just there to hold the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was confused. I was like, is can he see it? We couldn't see his ball. Could he see it? Clearly he saw it. He went for it. Did not work out. I was like, how is he not driving this? And that's when I really thought the gates were open for
Yeah.
Griffin. And then obviously that didn't go. But yeah, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, because and then he could have made infinity because that third one got caught on a tuft of grass, or that one was coming back into the water as well. For a second there, I thought he was going to be there all day. So that was, but I will say when I didn't necessarily have a guy fully in the mix, but it at least gave McGreevy a sliver of hope. No better feeling than when the leader of the tournament is absolutely imploding to give guys a chance, unless you obviously have that guy. But in that moment, I can't think of more enjoyable things to watch.
Right. No, I agree. We would have had a guy in the mix if Harman can make a 7-foot putt, but that's a different story.
That's what I was going to ask you next about was State of the Union on Harman, because we talked about him last week saying that the man only finishes between like 15th and 25th. He finished 32nd, kind of in the same realm that he keeps finishing. We talked about his dog specifically. I'm dropping him in the dog rankings, Jers. I've seen enough. How long we're going to let him live off of the Open win? For a long time. We're going to keep him in the dog rankings for a long time because of that. But he's too high in the dog rankings. He's
yeah,
unserious.
This is not something I like ever track, but he missed a 5-footer on 18 today. 9 misses inside of 7 feet. 9. That is insane. He ended up losing by 9. Not that he was going to win, but that's crazy. 9 misses inside 7 feet. You're a professional golfer who's supposed to be a great putter. You finished almost last out of the guys who made the cut in putting. You stripe harder than ever. You gained 5 on approach. You gained almost half a stroke off the tee, 2 around the green, and you just cannot make shit. He's back to hitting the ball well. Like he's going to play well to players again. maybe, but he might be a little popular.
He lost 8 strokes putting at Century. What did he lose this week?
How? He lost 3.5.
And so he lost, close to 4 this week. He just couldn't make them. Every time I would look on the app and he had like 6 feet, I was like, he's probably going to miss. And he was missing it every single time. But it's like, I really think this is what I was thinking about. Him winning the Open by like 7 shots, honestly, is probably the most surprising thing that's happened when I've been following golf this closely. Within at least the last 5 years, I can't think of something that makes less sense thinking back about it than Harman winning the Open by 7 shots.
Well, you said lefties, so it's a win. It's a win for sure.
So it makes sense, actually, because it's a lefty revolution. So never mind. That totally makes sense. Shout out BK. It made sense to BK because BK was on him famously there. Spieth, we'll talk about him. Oh, I guess he's not playing API, so we got to quickly talk about Spieth. Bermuda. That's the only place you can play Spieth. And when he gets on the Bermuda, he makes putts and he plays good because the momentum and the vibes are good. He won't win the Players, but if he's good odds at the Players, sure, I'm down.
He's like became like one of the best drivers on tour. I'm not even kidding. He's so good at driving the golf ball. Everywhere else is just a mess, kind of, but he putt well.
I like it. His swing looks nice. I think like watching him hit the irons, like they weren't all going where he wanted them to, and he couldn't fade the ball like they were all going left. But I like what I'm seeing from Spieth. He's not going to win the Masters, and anybody who is betting him to win the Masters or chasing the number at the Masters, I'd be 1,000% out on that. But again, Bermuda, where I will be in on him, Harbor 10.
Yes. Well, what a loss that was. Didn't you had him with Fitz? I'm in.
All right. Also, I have to quickly talk about Johnny Vegas. Unserious
weekend.
I was really high on Johnny Vegas, and it was going well. It was Johnny Vegas week for me, and going into the weekend, I was happy with how Johnny Vegas week was going. If you make an 8 as a professional golfer on a par 3, I will never bet you ever again. Never again, Jersey. I don't usually make a permanent blacklist for somebody. There's always a way to get off of it. Johnny Vegas making an 8 on a par 3 this week, done with him forever.
Yeah, I thought I didn't even realize he made that 8. I knew it was a high number. Now looking at a scorecard, man, that's tough. That's a tough scene. That's a really tough scene.
I wasn't even mad. I was just walking around outside, so I wasn't even watching. But just when you look at somebody's card and you see an 8 on it, you can't bet that golfer again because they're showing that they don't respect the game. Like, how do you make it? Hit the ball in the
Zero respect. Zero respect.
Like, I can't bet someone who doesn't care. At the end of the day, I can't.
Collin would never do that. Would never do that.
The vast majority of players would never make an 8 because they would take it seriously. Like, that's the amazing thing of like when I was growing up, one of the reasons I sucked at golf was I would give up so fast, I would just quit. And one of the most amazing things about these guys is no matter what is happening, no matter how terrible it's going for them, they keep trying. And for Johnny Vegas not to do that, over. Dead to me.
Remember when Will Gordon won the tournament on Friday and then he missed the cut?
Yes. Remember when Carl won the tournament? Impressive play from Carl. And then he fell off over the weekend. But good stuff from Carl. But all right, Bay Hill. Probably my favorite tournament of the year outside of the majors. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, assuming that they do the right thing and they make it difficult, but Bay Hill never does me wrong in that department. They stick by their guns. They make it tough if the weather conditions allow them to. It looks like it's going to be somewhat windy during this week in Orlando, Jersey, which is what we need to get Bay Hill playing the way that we want to see it. Chance for rain on Wednesday, hopefully not too much, but wind on Thursday, 15 miles an hour.
Let's go.
And wind on Sunday at 15 miles an hour, kind of lesser those between there. Do you think it's going to be difficult? Do you factor that into your handicap? Do you love this tournament? Do you dislike this tournament? Is it too hard? Is it too whatever? And what kind of players are you going to be on the lookout for?
I think after what we saw at PGA National, especially like Thursday, Friday, the guys up north are going to be like, we're going to strike this out. We're gonna give these guys a test. We have the top players here because they have to be here. Let's do it. So I'm gonna say single digit winner like we usually see, but a real test. And we'll have the boots there during the week, and I'll let you know what I see. But I'm looking for I know our viewpoints kind of differ here, but I'm looking for an absolute tee to green savant, guy coming in an absurd ball striking form, bomber who can hit the driver far, and that's really all I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I disagree with you there in the sense that, I mean, also Scottie's performance here last year was outrageous. Like, if you look back at the scoring and you go, oh, Bay Hill might have played a little easier last year. Yeah, it played a little easier overall, but Scottie shooting 15 under is a joke. A joke.
7-1. 7-1.
Unbelievable performance. I watched because you texted me. I've only watched one episode, but it was the 4th episode of
Sweet.
Full Swing.
Full
and
Swing.
It's the one with Scottie and Theegs and strokes gained caddy. But I was thinking about Scottie's year. I was thinking about this performance. This was up there for one of his most sublime efforts of the year. He absolutely dominated. But what I was going to say was, second place was Wyndy. The year before, Kurt won, miraculously leading the field in driving accuracy, but that was because he could hit like 3-woods and things off of the tee, so his distance still really mattered. Rory was second, obviously, that year as well. Scottie won the year before, and Bryson won the year before that. So bombers / positional bomber plus, I have a hard time arguing with you on that front, because then last year, guys like Lowry and Henley, shorter hitters, Brendan Todd, like, you can still play very
Todd,
well.
T7, right? What a week that was. Who could forget?
Before his career ended there. But you could play well any style of play here. If you're keeping it in the fairways, making a ton of putts, like, you can grind out a solid result. I think I agree with you that the just the distance advantage is continuing to show up year over year here.
Yeah, I'm excited for Bay Hill, and I really think that the guys that can hit it far off the tee while keeping it straight and can have just a high-end ball strike, like really, like true, the green plays here. I really think the green plays here. Look for the guys in green. Xander will be green, but he hasn't played in a while. Those guys are going to be in for good weeks.
Yeah, so it's like not rocket science. Good golfers is what you're saying.
Yes, sure.
Kurt won here at like 200. Unserious golfer, but
Trill Hatton.
It's like, yeah, you know my
I would bet him. I would bet him here. Even like I might like write him in on my card this week.
Write in on Hatton. Yeah, I don't hate that. Would you bet Francesco Molinari if he was playing again this week? 2019.
Dude, whenever he plays, he mixes hard Friday afternoon. Like he's T7 Friday afternoon, like every event he plays, and like that from there he's gone. Kind of funny that he just does that.
Before so I'm out on Milner. I think Tyrrell Hatton's the 4th guy I've said is unserious so far on this pod, but I stand by all 4 of those.
No.
Like, this is completely.
What about this guy? You think he's serious? Max Homa.
Well, I have no comment at the time on that. Actually, do you think, I was thinking about Max this weekend, do you think Max McGreevy should be the new, when you say like Max and you're talking about golf, I think it should refer to McGreevy, because he, in my opinion, right now is a better golfer than Homa. So from now on, when we say Max, we're referring to McGreevy.
Yeah, especially when we're in the Southeast, because that is his jam.
While you were talking, what I was pulling up was, I have the winner for Bay Hill. This purely week? Because I know if I don't bet him, it really depends. If I don't bet him, he's going to win. And if I do bet him, he has no chance because he never plays well when I bet him. But as I was watching the COG today, I saw a highlight package that included Keegan Bradley finishing runner-up. And I was like, wait a second. I didn't know Keegan's played well here before. And then I connected to the Bermuda. I was like, Keegan tends to play good on the Bermuda. He can win. He has dog. And when I saw that highlight clip, I thought to myself, he's going to be like, what? 80 to, what are Keegan's odds going to be this week?
Odds are out, so let's
50,
look.
50 or above. And I'm going to be like, I'm not going to bet Keegan, and he's going to win because I saw this highlight clip, thought to myself, I didn't know Keegan plays well here. He has dog. He's great in tough tests. He's playing unbelievable golf. He looks good on Bermuda. I just had to say that because I just have a feeling Keegan's going to win.
Yeah, no, I probably won't get there with Keegan, but you know Keegan better than I do. I have some guys. What? Yeah, you know Keegan better than I do.
Kind of.
I mean, I'm just not. I bet Keegan one time mixed. It was Sony. I don't bet him often though.
This is purely like a purely vibes based thing. I'm just saying when I saw Keegan, it popped into my head that Keegan's going to win this week, and I'm not going to bet him, and he's going to win. And if I do bet him, he's not going to play well. So just keep tabs on that coming into the weekend. I just needed to say it out loud so that's out there, and you can help me think through my feelings about Keegan this week, because I'm going to need a boots report. I'm going to need to hear what you're thinking, but he's on my mind, Jers. Keegan Bradley, but difficult test. Looks like it's going to be windy. Looks like you're going to be there for boots. All those things are true this week about Bay Hill, and Scottie Scheffler's back jerseys plus 330 in the DraftKings odds right now. We're looking Sunday night, so these will probably change as more books come out. Is Scottie winning this week? Is he a lock? Do we even need to bet the event? Is the without market the play? Scottie, State of the Union.
Back to back, I'm going to say no, just because I'm not going to bet him. But no, seriously, without market might be in play. I saw what I saw at Torrey Pines, looked amazing. Going to get eyes on him. Hopefully talk to his parents again and go from there. But yeah, I'm not going to bet Scottie this week. I don't think anyone should bet Scottie this week. And we'll go from there. But he makes all the sense in the world. Hot take.
My thing about Scottie this week, I'm pulling something up to make sure this is a factually based take, and I think that it is. His problem so far this year has been hitting the driver straight. He has not been positional bombing plus yet this year. And as we've said many times, the reason Scottie became extra unbelievable at golf last year, positional bomber plus, that works at a lot of golf courses. It specifically works at golf courses like this. But last year when he won here, he only hit 57% of the fairways. He didn't drive it very straight last year, and he won by a shit ton. And that would be really scary for me as somebody who's going up against Scottie this week. Is the one weakness he's had so far since coming back from the hand injury is driving it straight, and everything else has been unbelievable. He won here not driving it straight last year.
I will say also, like, the short game hasn't been great coming back, and you need that around Bay Hill. And he had better short game week at Torrey Pines, but this is a far different short game test. This is his first time on the dicey Bermuda, the tight Bermuda, since getting the surgery. Something to monitor.
On the tight Bermuda, he's gained
right, but he hasn't. But the surgery is what I'm saying. First time doing that since the surgery.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I just think he bounced back, looked good at Genesis, and now he comes to these like Bermuda around the greens, which is his, except at Pine. It didn't work at Pine. But no. He has gained 6 strokes around the greens here, 2 strokes, 2 strokes, and 4 strokes around the greens. He's probably gonna win. I'll take a Scottie's gonna win stance this week. That's not ever a hot take, but still he's plus 330 odds. So like he's still less likely to win than he is to win. I'm pretty sure Scottie's gonna win. I'm tempted to use him in one and done. I still have Scottie in my back pocket, but I usually use him at players. You already used Scottie, so I need to use Scottie strategically.
I used him last week, right? At Genesis.
So if I'm going to make a comeback, I need to use Scottie strategically, and I'm kind of tempted. But I'll wait. Hear the boots report. If you'll tell me if Scottie's going to win or not. I think we're almost 100% success rate.
We are. I think we are, yeah.
On saying either Scottie is going to win or he is not going to win when we have boots on Scottie. You thought he was going to win Genesis, though, and he didn't. So not 100% success rate.
No, close to it.
But you'll talk to his mom. You'll let us know how he's feeling. If she says something confident, like I guarantee you Scottie wins this week, that'd be sick. So let us know. Yeah. Let us know what the Scheffler family is feeling out there as they get back to Bay Hill. Rory's in single bullet territory, Jers. I'm sure he'll be around 7-8 to 1 this week. Plays well here. The type of course that we've talked about being in this new version of Rory over the last few years when he mixes, it's these type of golf courses, just absolutely nuke from the tee. He's driving it generationally. He should play well. He always finishes top 10. Can he win? Would you single bullet him?
Heavy consideration. Yeah. I think I have to look for 2 things. Obviously, boots report going to be big. See what I see from Rory. And 2, tee time. He cannot play with Scottie in rounds 1 and 2 or however they pair it. He cannot, because I think they'll reshuffle after round 3 or after round 2. Sorry. So if Rory is paired with Scottie, which is likely, not likely, but it could happen, out on Rory. That is the litmus test right now going into the week. So boost report and tee times for Rory.
Yeah, that's fair. I like I said, below 20 to 1. I'm building like 9 to 10x cards this year. No room for Rory for me, but I would not be surprised in any way, shape, or form if he won the event. The only reason he didn't win Torrey is because he couldn't putt. and he can putt these greens. Lives in Florida. He's would you consider him a Bermuda guy?
Low key, yeah. Like he likes it. He fucks on the Bermuda. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I would as well. Xander's back. Xander's back. He's your guy. We couldn't possibly ask for a better person to be giving us a Xander returns from injury boots report.
Yeah.
Xander as well as anybody knows any player at all, right? Like you would say so.
Yeah, I know when to go in on Xander, and everyone knows that I know. So yeah, I'll definitely update you guys what I see from X. We should definitely keep that one for everyone, not for just the subs. The Xander report will be public heading to Tuesday night, heading into the week. So we'll monitor Xander. So I don't want to give too many takes right now. I mean, he hasn't played in a while. He's obviously injured, and I'm sure Adam would say the same thing. So we'll hold off on Xander until Tuesday night.
Lud, he's going for back-to-back wins, so I know he's out of consideration for you because that's fundamentally against what you stand for in the golf betting world. But could you see him winning? Do you think if somebody didn't have that, let's remove that fundamental foundational block of your betting strategy, somebody else who didn't have that fundamental, would you have a problem with them betting Lud around 20-1?
20-1, that's his number?
He's 19 on DraftKings.
Oh, he's gonna be popular then, I feel like. I'm down for Lud. Like, I think he'll play really well. Did you bet him last year here? I feel like you bet Lud did he play poorly? I don't really remember Ludvig's history here.
Finished T25. He did not play great. He's just very average.
Yeah, I do think Ludvig can play well here, but he might not be a Bermuda guy. He won the RSM. He might not be a Bermuda guy, though. I think Ludvig could be in for a good week. I mean, if someone's going to have that generational season, someone's got to do it, maybe. Could be him. Could be him for sure.
Collin's 20-1, which is one of the longer odds on Collin in an event like this in quite some time. He's been playing well. He obviously plays good on difficult golf courses. Actually, doesn't really play that well on difficult golf courses. I'll be honest; those majors weren't the most difficult of tests that he won. He usually plays pretty bad here, Jers. He's missed back-to-back cuts here. He doesn't like playing in the wind. It's not dome golf. But I think that's reflected in the 20-1. Would you have any interest in Collin? But also, Scottie's in the tournament. We know Collin can't win when Scottie plays. So actually, never mind.
Yeah, like when Collin gets forgotten about and drifts a little bit. Collin had gained 10 strokes here on approach before, so he can fuck there. He hasn't done it in a while, but I think it could happen. And he won in Florida before. He's won a concession. So I'm down for Collin. I like when he drifts 20. Maybe we can get a 25. We'll see. Collin is definitely, I wouldn't say under C right now, but going to keep him in the back of my mind.
The only way I'd be on Collin is if he drifts a little bit more and then you tell me that he's like so locked in and so focused, because among the guys where like in the database, we've got a good analysis, except famously Kapalua, you were absolutely wrong on Collin.
Absolutely wrong on
Collin. I'm saying that was a glitch in the database. I'm not going to hold that one against you.
No, you have to hold that one against me.
No, what I'm saying on Collin specifically, I'm not holding against you because I need your Collin report and I need to be able to trust it, because he's usually a guy who's either super locked in, absolutely dialed in practice, or he's not. And if he drifted and you told me he looked like it was strokes gained prep championship from Collin, I might be in.
Yeah, there's definitely a world where that could happen. He always preps so hard. So I'll keep Collin on tabs for sure.
22-1 Justin Thomas. In or out?
Out. That's it.
He has a T21, a T12 here. He's striped here before, but he probably won't make any putts and he won't win.
Yeah, like if he misses a green, just forget it. He's striping so hard right now. Like we're back to like prime JT stripes right now. Truthfully.
Yeah, especially on approach. He's been generational.
Fuck. He is a new swagger with TGL. He's becoming the face of TGL. Which he needs.
I never ever bet JT ever, but
I know.
Like he won't make enough putts. That's why I never bet JT, is simply on that rule. And then I've talked about this before. We look at JT and we see, has he putted well at this tournament before? Because that's the only chance he would have. He's not putted well here, Jers. The most he's ever gained.
Overthink it.
He's lost twice and gained 1.2 once. So yeah, I'm out. The next tier, mid-20s, and again, these are DraftKings early in the week. I'm sure some of these are going to drift. We'll get better numbers. Famously, last week we got a much better number on Keith Mitchell. He was 28-1. I think he went off at like 50. So and then he mixed there for a second. Was there ever a
So
second where you
unserious.
thought he had a chance?
No, there was never a second where I thought he had a chance because, and I told you this, but I was with Smiley over the early week, and he wanted to
Mhm.
pick Keith. This is one and done, and I was like, dude, no, it's fucking Keith. He's unserious. And he was like, yeah, but he's won here. And I was like, dude, that was like 15 years ago. And he was like, be careful who you're saying who won 15 years ago. And I was like, sorry. So Keith gets to the lead. I'm like, oh, Smiley's gonna be like, yeah, I should have picked Keith. As soon as he gets to the lead, immediate eject city, comical eject. I know Adams saw it, we talked about it. So Keith, he's just unserious. Just unserious.
He, I think I texted you violently unserious or violently
Yeah.
low dog. Like he's balling out. He's making miracle putts. Everything's going in. He's hilarious to watch when he gets it going too, because he starts walking at like glacial speed. He's clearly trying to stay like chill so hard. And then he gets to 8, literally like a 3-wood just down the middle, like just hits the ball
Drives it
straight,
OB.
drives it in the water. And I was like, there was never a moment where I was worried because I never thought he was going to win. And also the fact he went off at 50-1, I felt vindicated in my Keith Mitchell
Yeah.
28-1 take, but I still didn't want him to win. To have to deal with the cold take exposed, it instantly, the second tiny bit of thought went in my mind that it could happen, he was gone before it could even be processed.
Oh.
Here's a guy who probably fits that description to kick off the guys in the mid-20s, Tommy Fleetwood. He's 25-1. Decky's 25-1, Jers. Decky is 25-1. Hideki Matsuyama is 25-1 in this week's golf tournament, Jers. A man who generationally stripes and just beat all of these guys on Bermuda twice recently at the FedEx St. Jude and at the Century. He's mid-20s, as is your new boy, long-term boy, but now officially your guy, Patrick Cantlay. What do you think about those guys?
Oh, dude, I love Pat Ice. Hideki at 25 is just like, come on, like in this field, he's not hitting it well. He's not hitting the ball too great here. He's played here a ton though and has some decent ball striking results. I'm interested in Pat. I definitely am interested in Patrick Cantlay on the Mute, but I think this range is just a little bit tough for me, if I'm going to be honest, because I think I like some guys further down the board with it probably about the same win equity.
No luck again at the Cognizant for the range of despair or anyone near the range of despair. Berger, we didn't talk about Berger. He's fake dog to me. Like, what has he ever done that's actually his dog to talent ratio is it's not great.
I mean, I don't know what did the people expect? Like, yeah, I get it made sense. Daniel Berger at the Honda Classic, it makes sense. But like, come on, 25-1.
Pat's generationally striving right now.
He is. I mean, I saw it in Hawaii. Like, I was like, this guy's found something this year.
You don't usually
T4 here
want Pat
before too.
when he's generationally striving. He can't, like 3 straight weeks of good approach play. He doesn't do that often. But if he did, obviously, if any player did what they're supposed to do this week, we would like him. But he was T4 here. He's not a Bermuda guy, but now he's trying to become a Bermuda guy.
He lives in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, 28-1's a reasonable price on Pat, but
he's 28.
Yeah, right now he's not going to drift. I think he's going to go the other way. Like people are going to bet Pat at 28 for sure.
Sung 40.
No chance for me. Sam Burns 45. We've talked about Sam before starting to become a little unserious as he's my guy, but I've been saying I don't love where things have been for a while now. He has never played well here. He's going to gain a lot on the greens, but I'd be totally good on Sam. Do you like Sam, Tony, or Bob Mack?
Bob Mack, I think, would be my guy there for sure. Just difficult course. Yeah, difficult course. Get it up and down. Make some putts.
He played here in 2021. He finished T36. He gained 6 strokes putting. Bob Mack.
I mean, yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down for Bob Mack.
What's Tony's 50-1? You said he stopped being serious about golf. When was it? When did you first identify that?
Early 24, like a full year ago, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. He
mid 24.
Yeah, and you're good then. You're standing by that. You haven't seen anything to change your opinion.
I mean, you see him at TGL having time of his life dancing. Like he knows where he wants to be. He does not want to be winning golf tournaments.
Mav is back for the first time since he absolutely crushed my heart. I haven't fully recovered. I don't think I'll fully recover from that. There's certain like things that happen during a golf betting season. Like if that hits, it's been a great year for me. It doesn't hit, so now it's been a terrible year. Like that lives with you. You need those ones to go your way. Brutal.
Yeah,
but he's back.
Betting Mav makes sense.
At least you were on the other side, so there's something to be like. There's a glimmer of silver lining to that moment, but it was still terrible. But he's 50-1. He won the RSM. That's on Bermuda.
It sure is, and a guy who can drive it far. The approach play is the best approach play of his career right now. Get hot with the putter. He doesn't have a good course history here at all, but I mean, he's a West Coast guy. That's all I would say, really.
I don't think I like Mav on super difficult golf courses. He aims at the pin on every hole, and like Tory was playing a little bit easier when he went on his like blackout birdie fest. When it was playing harder, he was struggling. So I don't think I like Mav on difficult golf courses. Keegan, there he is. Like I said, there's your winner of the tournament. Keegan Bradley. Viktor Hovland, a man, of course, we'll need a Boots report on him. A man who is probably my favorite Boots player by far, easily, because it's always interesting with him. He's 55-1 Jers. He always plays good at Bay Hill.
Yeah.
Right now,
I can see his numbers staying there. Pretty solid, though.
Yeah. He's almost won twice. That's why he jumps out. 2 of the last 3 years, he's been right in the mix. Would you go there if you saw nice things from him?
For sure. And I just need to see him prepping like hard around the green. I never see him on the course, which he's always prepping hard around the green, but I just need to see him prepping hard around the green.
Because he's doing Viking Cup simulator golf and just practicing on the range until his golf swing is like perfect to his eye. So he doesn't go on the course and practice.
Yeah, I mean, it works, clearly.
Sometimes. Well, it's not working. Not working right now, but it has worked.
It's worked over his life.
Yeah. It's made a great golf career for him right now. I'd like to see him out on the course a little bit. Like, he's gone too far down the rabbit hole. It started last year. I mean, we talked about this a million times, but beginning of last year, like, just go play golf. Just be Viktor Hovland.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. I like when I was watching the Scottie full swing, and they're talking about Hovland winning the FedEx Cup the year before. It's like, just go be Viktor Hovland. Go to Bay Hill, a spot you've got experience, and at 55-1 Jers, if you give me any signs of life from Vic, I'd for sure be in. For sure. Because he almost won. Last time he almost won was the St. Jude. And I think if you play good at St. Jude, I'm going to be interested in you here.
Mute. Yeah, I'm with you.
This is a good guy we need to talk about. Actually, yeah, individually we got to talk about him because he's your guy. Zal. He almost won last year. I think he did win last year. If I remember properly, he finished it off to win this event last year. Can he go back-to-back? Habs almost did it, Cognizant.
Yeah, 2-man card last year, Scottie, Zal. And I've been talking about this spot for Zal all year now, all 2025. And my hopes are high. I love the number. I could see it drifting a little higher. Right now, I'm in. He's hitting the irons well. And remember what I told you for what the caddy said in Phoenix? Go listen to the Phoenix pod. I think good things are coming from Zal, truthfully.
I'd have no problem starting my card with Vic and Zal at like 60 each.
Yeah, that would be sick. That would be a sick card.
Like, even if that card...
Vic, Zal, Dietrich.
I could be done for Tommy. Even if they finish last place, and I'll get Tom Kim on there too. I'll just throw in another like guy who you're just like, fuck it, they can get in the mix. Which of the Florida merchants between Shane Lowry and Russell Henley do you think finishes higher?
I would go with Russ. When Russ goes on these heaters, like he plays well for a while, and he could do it on a difficult golf course. So I would go with Russ.
Fitz is no longer in random Euro of the Week territory, at least in these odds, but I think it's because he plays well here. He's 60-1.
Yeah, he does play well here, but he's still in random Euro of the Week. He's bad at golf. No.
You've been confident, or you've seen confidence from Wyndham Clark.
Yeah,
he obviously played well here last year. He might be a Bermuda guy, maybe. LACC famously not POA out west. Second here last year. Then he won the Players. He's 70-1. I mean,
yeah, and like he can hit the ball. The sight lines here are great for Wyndham because you can aim. The fairways are wide. He could just aim it and send it. And then when he's in the fairway, I trust him to hit good iron shots. Hopefully the putter can hit it up. 70 is a crazy number. I can see him being somewhat popular, but I do like Wyndham right now. Nikolai
Okay.
190.
Which of the so we just talked to a couple low-key Bermuda guys. Who of the true Bermuda guys down the board here? Let me just list them off so people know who we're talking about. BG again, Harman, Horschel, Timor Red State, these type of guys. Harris is whatever. He's a little bit of everything. Chris Kirk, obviously, Bermuda guy. Down the board, Bermuda guys. Who are you looking at?
Eric Cole home game, difficult course. He'll hit every single fairway, and he just will be behind the 8 ball all week and then finish T15. He could be in the low Bermuda guy market. Nick Dunlap's 200 to 1. What the fuck?
Auto.
Perpetuity?
I have to.
He's playing TGL this week. With Billy. No, not with Billy. Billy's not playing.
The fact he's joining my drive, we don't perpetuity. Something bad will happen. I will not bet him, and he will win. I have to bet him. 200
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Did he?
Chris Ventura 350 to
1. Did Nick Dunn? Has he played here before? He putted well last year. He's just gonna putt amazing.
He lives in Florida now. He's a Florida guy.
Yeah, I have to. Speaking of young guns, this is a guy we talked about last week. I declared him. I was just exasperated, I think is how I would describe how I felt about Alex Smalley going into this week. I've seen enough. I'm ready to make a definitive statement about Alex Smalley and his game. He, to me, should be in the top 20 of the OWGR. He's that good, in my opinion. He, to me, is the furthest from where his OWGR should be based on the quality of player that he is to what it actually is. He's finishing top 20 every week automatically. And his floor is so high. If he drifted to some insane number this week, I would bet him just because his game is good enough to beat anyone. But he's so.
I'll also add, I think I'm going to firmly put in the stance that he'll never win a golf tournament. Ever. Ever. Based on the thing I sent you on Twitter, based on what he's done in the past, I can't see it.
He's so good. He's so good. He's the second round Smalley and third round Smalley.
Nations.
I don't play Showdown, the DFS, but if you do, get second and third round Smalley in there and then sprinkle in Rakuya on random times throughout the year because
any random Asian.
Yeah, because Hoshino's ability to go low randomly is generational. Theegs is 110 to 1.
And
didn't he win here last year?
He remember the bunker. He got fucked in the bunker and then lost. Who could forget?
I hate
Tell the story.
Yeah, last year I was on Theegs. He was on his way to he was going to be up 8 or 10 shots in the first round. He was playing the greatest first round in the history of Bay Hill. And he hit it in the bunker, and you were there, and he went for some heroic bunker shot, hosel blade over the green, and made double bogey, and it was over after that.
10 minutes before Shot Tracer updated, I was distraught texting Adam. You're like, dude, what are you talking about? He's fine. It's no, trust me, he's not.
That was brutal. But he's.
I think I'm gonna go back to Bay Hill for Thursday this week too. Kind of a birthday tradition that I've been doing. So we're doing.
What day is your birthday?
Friday, but we like to start the weekend with Bay Hill because it's also Kohler's birthday's on Thursday. Our producer, graphic design guy, and our good buddies coming down from New York. So it's all of our birthdays the same weekend. So we've been doing Bay Hill the last 3 years, so we're gonna keep it going.
That's sick. I love it.
Vibes.
Billy Ho. I'm gonna keep writing. Billy Ho didn't win this week. Obviously, didn't play terrible. Didn't play great. He fought off an alligator. Jers. What more does this man have to do? He so clearly has almost a dangerous level of dog, I would say.
Yeah. His own life is up.
Yeah, he genuinely is afraid of nothing. And he wants to win in the Florida swing more than a major, I would say. If he picked up Troon last year, but he didn't win in the Florida swing, I think I'm just going to keep betting it. I think I'm just.
What is his number this week?
He's going to be at over 100. He's 110 right now. He'll probably drift because he didn't win last week and everybody was on him. He's been T2 year before. I've already committed myself.
It's Florida.
I've already committed myself to like 3 guys over 100. But
sneezing over here.
What is still hanging true, and I mean, it's obviously different in the signature events, but at least in the non-signature events, the staying away from the top of the board has remained the path. Now, picking the random guy who's going to win, not easy, obviously. But this week, do you think someone from down the board over 100 to 1 could win, or is there no chance?
I really don't, unless it's Nikolai at 200 to 1. Or unless it's Nikolai, because Nikolai played with Billy this week in the final round. He definitely learned something.
What about Max Homa at 180 to 1 shares?
Holy shit! Wow! Doesn't he have like somewhat course history here?
Yeah, I usually bet him here.
He makes sense.
He's finished. His career here is T24, T10, T17, T14, T8.
He's lost the irons now.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I haven't looked at his stats lately.
The driver's been gearing back up, and now he can't hit an iron. He's just not there. He's just.
But
no,
there. You're wrong, Durs. He said he's hitting it better than he ever has in his life.
He did say that, but okay. I don't have to make any more Max Homa comments.
Which was a more delusional statement? Max saying that he's hitting it better than he ever has before, while literally being in like a potentially career-threatening downward spiral, or Berger claiming that he's playing better than when he was like top 10 in the world.
They're both crazy. I'll say Max because Max is KFT. Max is KFT.
Yeah. When I saw that statement, it's like, what are these guys? I get having confidence. You got to have confidence, but like, you can just look at the numbers and see that that's absolutely not true.
Like in false fact
by any measure of fact. But yeah, Max is 181 this week. Random Euro of the week. You were on Svenny last week as random Euro of the week. Great call. He mixed there for a while, ejected seriously hard. Did you see what happened to Svenny?
Oh, I sure did. That was not good. He finished T35, but he was there for so long. I thought we were going to have something with Svenny for sure.
I was glad that I didn't bet him because I was on him in Mexico. And the reason I didn't bet him this week is because I was tracking him last week and he played really good, but he kept getting to par 3s, easy shots, and just coming nowhere near like the pin. And I was like, I can't trust that going to PGA National. But then I was regretting it because he was playing so great. But then a par 3 ultimately what ruins it for Svenny. But you've already mentioned Nikolai. It sounds like he's your random Euro of the week.
Actually, no. I'm going to go with Pavs. Pavs off of the best approach week since his win at Torrey. A golf course where you need to be long and straight off the tee. This is one you have to be long and straight off the tee. And he's hitting his irons good. He did not hit the ball well last year here, but he is hitting them well now. So I'm down for some Pavs.
What do you think Aldi Potts does this week? What's finish position for Aldi Potts over under?
Where
do you think the line?
26.
T26.
Yep. What do you say the line?
I think no, that's a good line. I think he finishes worse than it, but I wouldn't say by a long shot. I think that's a good number because I was going to say a little bit higher, but driver putter, like that could work this week.
Oh yeah, sure. It makes sense.
Jackson Coyvin's playing. There's a lot of interesting names down the board, not maybe from a betting perspective, but just guys that it's interesting that they're in this event. Isaiah Salindagers, he's playing. He made another cut at PGA National.
Confident man.
I'm excited to get a Boots report on Isaiah.
Yeah, he striped it at PGA National. Just could not putt. The Bermuda might be bad for him. He's a West Coast guy, but he striped it. And
it was past Palom down there in Mexico, so that is a concern. Soups will play well. I'll keep riding Soups. I'm good on Soups.
Every fairway.
Yeah, he won't must. Nico Etches 300 to 1. I'd stick with him. I bet him this week. He didn't play great, but Bermuda,
that's why.
The ability to be generational stripes. I'll have my eyes out for Nico Etch. What is your thought on? We've talked about this before on the sponsors exemptions. I think we've fallen on the side of we want the best players to be in the tournament. And then in the random events is when we want the young guns to get in. What's your thoughts of Rafael Campos being in this field at 1,000 to 1 over a trending Jordan Spieth and an improving Ricky Fowler?
Or Jordan Smith. because he was definitely like the third option there.
Yeah.
So wait, so Camps was the sponsor exemption?
I think Camp's got sponsors exemption. That's what he wrote like a really kind letter to the Palmer like family, and they said you're in, which is fair. I respect that.
That tells me that they're not fucking around this week. If they're gonna let Ricky and Jordan not play and Campos play, they're gonna set this course up absolutely diabolically. So I'm excited.
I do like a ruthlessness to their like mindset going into the week. I'm down for that. So that's Bay Hill. That's the Arnold Palmer Invitational. You're gonna have boots for us this week. There's gonna be other tournaments as well, as we've talked about. One of those, the Joburg Open. I'm not talking about the DP because I'm so, like I said,
all you need to know is just Bombers. That's it. Bombers fuck here.
Just Bombers. Where are they playing the tournament? What country?
So I believe it's in South Africa.
Okay.
Christo Lamprecht not in the field, but Wilco Nijneiber's in the field, I believe.
I was on him at the now fraudulent South African Open, and he did not play good. Played bad, but he could easily bounce back this week. Just bet like 7 or 8 South Africans over 50-1, and
Christian Mass,
new young gun,
played really well. Yeah, new young gun. Brentley told me about him. I forget where he goes, but he said great things about him. So look out for him.
He was up there. He might have won if they actually played a full. That's my other. It's the South African Open. We're giving out a national open here. We need to play 72 holes. But where they don't play 72 holes, the Live Golf Tour in Hong Kong this week, They're only going to be playing 54 over there. But that's okay because they announce it ahead of time. I'm fine with 54 if we declare it ahead of time and we don't use it for national opens.
Yeah.
I know you've already got some thoughts on this event. This is when you go to the grocery store and you ask for positional golfers, you need them in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is like 82 yards long, and it is positional as all hell. Abe Answer won here. That makes sense as a positional guy. I lost in a playoff with Paul Casey. Didn't even know he made the playoff. Woke up and was like,
right. Yeah.
Fuck? What are you looking for? What do you need to do to win Hong Kong? Who do you like?
This is weird. Yeah. They've had a golf tournament at this event since like 1959. And looking at the winners of this list, the most positional thing you could ever imagine. Do that after the pod. But weirdly enough, Cam Smith has played well here regularly. Maybe he probably hits like 4-iron off every single tee, because if he pulls out a driver around Hong Kong, he is fucked. But just positional merchants around this golf course, I may have gone elsewhere at the top of the board, but positional guys, fuck here.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up. DraftKings has the odds for this as well. Camp 16-1. Yeah, he has played. He was in the mix here.
And he won here. He won here when it was like a different tour event, I think.
His shout out Data Golf again. They've got live strokes gained up now.
They do.
Concerning stuff from Cam Smith.
Really?
Concerning stuff.
I'm not shocked.
What? I'm gonna declare something right now that very possibly will come back to bite me, but I don't think it's going to. David Puig at 20-1 all year on live. Worst possible bet you could ever place. Why are they tweeting Puig like he's Tiger Woods all of a sudden? He like, I was on him
he mints high finishes.
He's just one of those guys that mints high finishes, so now his odds have to be lower because of it. But
I guess.
I'm
4th, 3rd, 12th, 19th, cut 3rd. The guy played 6th, 4th. The guy plays good golf.
But who's he playing against?
The Live, Ras Al Khaimah, Bahrain, Alfred Dunhill Links, and Spanish Open. Those are all top 5s.
I think I'm just bitter because I was on him at Ras when Del Rey won, and I had him. He was like, that's my issue. Is if you're like 30-1 at Ras and you're 20-1 on live, I just can't support that. That's my issue.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's fair. That's fair.
Brooks is 20-1. I said I'm betting Brooks over 20-1 every tournament. And I think I'll probably just do it again this week.
He's leaving live. He wants to go to TGL.
So you're convinced of that take that he's done?
I think he's done. Yeah, I do. Brooks and Bryson are both done, I think. A lot of guys are going to be done. We're in the street.
I'll say I firmly disagree with that take. I think that is. I think you're too far down in PGA Tour HQ TGL world, but it's definitely not a made up take. There's a lot of smoke around the situation. I'm just going to say I lean lean towards it being not as true as it seems. But either way, Brooks Koepka 20-1 on live. I'm going to consider
That'll pay the bills. That'll pay the bills.
That will pay the bills. By the way, speaking of live, speaking of Theegs, speaking of Carl, I didn't know that Carl used to caddy for Tringali, the artist.
Wait, did he really? Did they say that on the thing?
No, like, but when they were painting through, like, they're like, Carl's been a caddy for like 10 years on the PGA Tour. He left Pepperdine because he didn't coach at Pepperdine when Theegs was at Pepperdine. Right. But he recruited him there. In that period when Theegs was at Pepperdine, he was caddying for Cam Tringali.
I wish he was there for the round. I should ask what he knows about the round. He was not on the bag, definitely, but I should ask him about the round. So,
he's caddied for a lot of guys who play artistic golf. Theegs and Tringali.
Yeah. True painters. I like that. Wow, that's good stuff.
Would you bet Ben Campbell at 50-1 on live because you're confused and think it's Brian Campbell and it's a positional golf course?
People will make that mistake. People definitely will make that mistake.
Which course is more positional, this or Kenya? I think Kenya.
I would say Kenya. Yeah, I'd say Kenya.
I think Kenya is slightly more positional. But I'm excited about this event because it is so positional that you can bet anyone, because as long as they can hit the ball straight from the tee with like an 8-iron, then they're going to have a chance to attack from the fairways. So I'm excited for live. I'm excited for the PGA Tour at Bay Hill. I'm excited for Puerto Rico. Who's playing Puerto Rico? Who do you need to watch out?
Are the odds up? Are the odds up? No.
I don't think so. Everybody's going to be between 20-1 and 60-1. They're going to put the entire field like right in the middle. They always do this.
We could do 5 minutes on Puerto Rico after Boots Report.
There you have it, folks. If you want to find out about Puerto Rico, get over to the site. Get to the Boots Report out Tuesday nights, up on the site on Tuesday and Wednesday. Final Boots before I meet you down there for the Players' Championship. I'd love to hit a winner prior to going down there so that I don't have to go all in on. There you go. Boot by boot. Boot by boot. Cheers. Boot by boot.
That's all we got to say.